Hello, MA 117 students, and welcome to this PowerPoint presentation about writing negative messages or bad news messages. There's a real knack to communicating bad news, whether it's to staff members or patients or clients. So the whole goal in communicating bad news is to try and help the receiver understand and accept the bad news. Also, always promoting a positive image for your organization, promoting goodwill. Make the message clear so that no other further correspondence is necessary. And that's a really tough one because we're so used to closing our correspondence by saying, hey, if you need anything, let me know. We're not doing that for this one. And we also, when we close off these negative messages, we always make sure that there's no liability, no legal liability going on. So we're going to use the indirect writing style. It's really simple. Buffer, reasons, bad news, closing. So your negative message memorandum must have 4 paragraphs. Once you get used to writing these negative messages, they actually are fairly easy to do if you follow this writing plan. You will be graded on the writing plan, so you must provide a buffer paragraph, a reasons paragraph, a bad news. Remember, the bad news is actually broken to the recipient much further down in the correspondence, and then a closing paragraph. Okay, so possible buffers for opening a bad news message. It could be any one of these things: best news, compliments, appreciation, agreement, facts, or understanding. For your project, the 2 easiest ways to start off the negative message memorandum is going to be compliments and appreciation. Present the reasons. So be cautious in explaining, cite reader benefits. If there's a company policy involved, you can put that in there, choose positive words, and show that the matter was treated seriously and fairly across all different levels. So when you do this bad news, this negative message memorandum, it's going out to all staff. It's actually important that the staff knows that everyone, regardless of their position in the company, has been treated fairly. You can de-emphasize bad news by avoiding the spotlight. You can use long sentences. You can place the bad news in a subordinate clause, such as the example shown there. Okay, here's some examples of implying a refusal. Instead of saying this, we cannot contribute to your charity this year, say this: although all of the profits must be reinvested in our company this year, we hope to be able to support your future fundraising activities. So this indirect writing style is the complete opposite of the direct writing style, where we always say, get to the point, use as few words as possible. Well, in an indirect writing style, promoting or conveying a bad message or a negative message, it is going to be kind of wordy. Okay, here's another example. Using passive voice verbs. It can also be very effective in conveying a negative message. Here's some examples. Remember, passive voice has nothing to do with the past tense. Passive voice usually has a helper verb involved. Some examples of active voice and passive voice. I love that one. Ryan checked the report, but he missed the error. I think somebody threw Ryan under the bus on that one. The passive voice would be: the report was checked, but the error was missed. All right, so when you go to close out a bad news message, that's your 4th paragraph. Avoid ending that sounds insincere or inappropriate. Try to personalize the closing with a forward-looking thought or an alternative to the refusal, maybe some good wishes. So remember, the buffer, the reasons, the bad news is in the 3rd paragraph, and the closing is the 4th paragraph.